be making this squirrel picnic table.
Should we go get started?
Yeah, let's go.
And there's Frankie. All right, my friends, so we're going to attempt to explain how we made our picnic table for our squirrel feeder. What we're looking at here is the basic material that we've used. We've got 3/4 inch pine right here, 6-inch, 4-inch, and 2-inch pieces, which we'll do the cuts here in just a minute. We've done 2 different versions. This version is designed for my youngest, Ava, Awesome Ava. She's 8 years old to build outside of cutting. Using the saw, she can do the rest of this. So we've got a hammer. We're just using some small bright finish nails because they're easy for her to drill in or hit in. We're going to need some wood glue. This is her stencil that she created on the silhouette cameo that she designed. Sandpaper to smooth out the edges. A drill to drill in the screw that the corn will sit on. Spray paint if you want to spray paint. And then just our notes here. So it's a pretty straightforward build, not overly complicated. So those are the materials that we're going to use. Our first prototype, we screwed everything in, but she likes to use the nails instead and more. So that's what we are going with. So step number 1, as you can see here through our notes that we have designed, is to make the cuts, which is what I'm going to go ahead and do now. So I'm going to cut those and then explain what they are. And in the show notes, you can see the link to the materials with the specific cut size dimensions that we are using. All right, so cut number 1 is going to be for the table. So we're using the 6-inch pine, which 6-inch pine board is about 5.5 wide here. So we're just going to measure 5.5 to have an equal square. So we're just going to go ahead and make that mark right there. We're going to go ahead and give it a cut. There's our table, nice square tabletop. Our next step is going to be the piece that is going to support the legs underneath. Make this a little bit easier for us to nail and do.
Why is that bigger?
And what do we mark that at as, Ava? 10.5. So we've worked on this one quite a bit. So we're going to do this one at 10.5. So Ava has worked on some drafts to make that stuff happen. And we did one, she thought it was too close, so we remeasured and made some diagnostics. 10.5 is the way it's going to be. Next step here is the short boards, and we're going to need to cut the seats. The seats are going to be as wide as the table. So we're going to do 2 seats at 5.5. And then last, we've got the legs, which are roughly 4 inches long, and we cut at 22.5-degree angles. So we've already got one made, so we're going to go ahead. I will just adjust this over. And we'll get these legs cut.
Okay, so now I'm going to be explaining what the parts are. So these are going to be the legs. They're going to go right under, and then we're going to glue them with wood glue. Then these 2 are going to be the seats. This long piece, this 10-inch piece, were for these. These are going to be the seats. Then there's going to be 1 inch going between here, and this is a tabletop, which will hold the corn on.
So we've designed this, right? So when you said 1 inch, you mean there's going to be a 1-inch space between the seats and the table, right? Mm-hmm. We got to make sure those squirrels have some leg room.
And then this is about 6 inches.
5.5.
5.5, I mean. Both of these, and I don't know how long these are.
All right, so Ava was documenting our journey. So we have made the cuts. We've completed step 1. So step 2 is to do what, Ava?
Do the table?
Put the X on the table. So why are we doing an X on the table?
So then we can know where to put the screw.
Yep, so we want the screw to be right in the middle. So Ava's learned how to use an X to find the middle.
That was really long. Corner to corner so that it's always straight and it'll go right in the middle.
So one of the things that we've learned it the hard way now, every single project, is we always forget to put the screw in, and then we have to make adjustments at the end. And we've done this now with both of our prototypes. So what do you say we put the screw in right now so we don't forget? Mm-hmm. Okay. So.
Okay.
So that's going to allow us to put our corn on at the end.
That's why we made that. This does not look in the middle. Where is it?
All right, so now we're on step 3 here for her notes to draw the line down the middle of the leg for the table. So we're going to line up the edge of the ruler right towards the middle. And why are we drawing this line, Ava?
So then we can...
What's this line for? What are we lining up here?
The legs?
We're going to line up the legs. And so we want the legs to be in just a little bit. So we've done some measuring before. We're going to go in 3/8 of an inch. And we're going to make a mark right here. And what Ava's going to be doing now is she's going to be getting the wood glue ready for what, Ava?
To glue the legs on because this will help, and then we like to add nails so then it stays on. So much.
So now that we've got this on, we've got our marks. What she's going to do now, we're going to take our legs and we're going to glue, where they're going to both line up right in the middle to this line, and they're going to hedge in to the inside here just a little bit, so it actually looks like a table. And then we'll double check our spacing here in just a minute. So Ava's going to take the legs.
The legs.
She's going to put glue on one side.
This one is much more, it looks much more easier when I do it than when you do it. So I'm just going to add that on just a little bit, and I'm going to spread it.
Line it up with the pencil. Okay, next leg.
So then just put the wood glue on each 4 of them.
So now we got to wait for that to glue, but you can now see here we got our legs on. And what we'll do is we'll double check, because we want this to be tight with the support board that's going to run eventually in between for the seat. So we're just going to slide this in here.
That's sometimes why we like to check, because sometimes you cannot put it on and then they will fall off wide.
Just to double check here. How's that look?
Good. Good. Now we're going to let that.
Now we will let it dry, and once the glue is clear, we're going to move on to step number 4, step number 5, which is to glue it all. So we'll be back once the glue is dry.
Bye!
All right, so our next step here, while our legs are finishing drying up, they're getting close, but they're still drying up. The glue is still a little dry there, or wet. We're going to go ahead and get our seats and our leg supports all done. So this is our board here. We know that when Ava goes to measure it, we know that this is how much, Ava? Let's measure. 3.5 is what we've got. And we've done this before, and so what we had to do before is we had to do some math, and we won't break down all the math, but we did our math. So there's our math concepts, and she had to find the middle of this, and so we have it marked. Let's go ahead and mark it here. And she knows we have it marked on the other side. It's going to be 1 3/4. Okay, so what we've done to speed up our process here is we've marked this on the ruler for our answer. So we spent time understanding where 1 3/4 is on a ruler. So we have that right there. So she's gonna mark that up after we've done the math. And we're gonna put a line on top. And where else, Ava?
On the side. In the same spot.
And why are we doing that?
So then you can match this leg right here, and they will be on the same side.
Okay, now we gotta do the same thing with the seats. Remember when we measured the seats are 5.5. So halfway is what, Ava?
3.
Close. 2.
2.
2 3/4. This took a lot of math and patience when we were trying to figure this out. Trying to explain how to divide decimals was quite the challenge, but we got it figured out. I'm sure we didn't explain it the best way of school system, but it made sense. We used the idea of quarters and money. I'm going to go ahead and mark that. All right, so now what are we going to do with that, Ava?
We're going to match. We're going to match it up with the line. So
That-
then we go there.
That way our seats are equal. Okay, so I'm going to hold, and how are we going to secure this down?
Screws or nails?
Nails. We used screws in our first prototype, but we're going to use nails, a little bit easier for her to do.
We're going to use grip and right fasteners.
Some finish nails. Probably do something a little more sturdy, but these work well. They hold.
Well, you might have a little struggle, but all you have to do is just keep on doing it for like a couple times, and then they will stay in.
All right, Greg, I'll hold it. You going to start to put it in? Ouch! That's good.
So then it stays in.
So there's are the seats that will go, and this will sit on the underside. This is where we'll connect the legs so everything is nice and secure. So now what we'll do is we've got to get this lined up equally.
I grabbed those blue things.
The clamps.
Yeah.
Yep.
We use clamps to hold them.
All right, Ava, so now how are we going to do this? We got to measure. Okay, so let's get our, you got your pencil? So I think we ended up doing 1.5 inches last time, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
So we've also made some adjustments on this, so we're going to mark at 1.5, mark up top right there. Let's see, right there. Okay, so now we just got to get a block of wood stationed underneath this here.
Ow! Pinch myself.
Hold this nice and tight. All right, so we got Ava marked off 1.5 inches. We're just going to double check our markings here before we nail. Ava, you got 2 nails ready?
I don't have it ready, but I will have it ready in about 2 seconds. 1, 2.
Double check one more time, make sure we're good. All right, let's go. We're going to do 2 nails, put it over just a little bit. Yeah, right there. All right, then we're gonna go through here and we're gonna add another nail here, 2 nails here, 2 and 2. So a total of 8 nails, 2 in each leg on the side. So we're gonna go ahead and do that now, but you don't have to watch that part.
We just came to a conclusion where we should look, is it level? Because squirrels might want it to be level. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a level thing. All you're going to do is you're just going to put it on. And wherever the bubble goes is what it is. So if it's in the middle of the 2 lines, then it means it's in the middle, which it looks like it is.
So that means we're good?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we'll go ahead and get that nail in over here then. All right, so in the end here, we've got 8 nails up top. We did 2 for each leg up top on the table. 2, 2, 2, 2. We got 2 for the benches. And then we put 2 on the side. So there is our table. Oh, I forgot one leg. I'm going to finish that. Ava's been a little distracted because she's found a new friend, which means we got a new project. So we're making squirrel feeders. Now what does she want? Now she wants a thing. What's that? You want to talk about it?
So his name is Froggy. And I came to a conclusion that he needs a house. So I'm going to make him a house someday. And it's going to be the same length as the tabletop. And then we're going to make it a roof. And then we're going to poke holes in there. So then he has some breathing. And then we're going to poke some small windows. So then he does it. And then we're going to make it nice and good. So then he does well. And yeah, he's my friend. He's really sneaky.
So you can see how quickly we move from idea to idea. We find a frog or a toad and boom, away we go. Last little thing is if you have any of these little tiny finish nails that are sticking out a little bit, here, watch out, Ava. We can just use this little guy and guide them down here just so they're not sticking up and hurting anybody. All right, Ava, so what's our next step here?
We have to do our logo and also add the corn.
So we're gonna add our logo. So we won't show you how to make. We'll use a cameo silhouette. We found a fork and spoon image. Ava designed and came up with the Feast Time logo. We used a stencil plastic material. We cut it out, picked it, and that's what we placed on the table. And not only do we have a squirrel table, we now have our first guest. So we're going to make sure that there's no spray paint in terms of harming this little guy. But we're going to get the logo on and then get the corn on and then we'll be done. So I'm just going to stick this on, and actually the way this works, this kind of sits perfectly in with the nail right on the T. It was not our intention when we did that, but it worked out just fine in doing so. So we just stick that down. We're going to grab a little spray paint. And the key is just to cover up the seats so they don't get paint on it. So we'll just cover that up with some paper when we go to spray paint, and we'll be good.
Is it supposed to rain? So this is our finished result. As you could probably see, my frog is really wanting to sit on it. Anyways, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and comment down below. I don't know if they are on. I'm so sorry. And give it a like and hit the
we gotta put the corn on.
Oh yeah, hang on, stand by.
Just
anyways,
with corn.
This was it with the corn, and it's our finished result. And he wants to say bye. And if you're sorry, bye.
Thanks for watching, Awesome Ava, and
Turkey Dad.